Hey there! If you're thinking about installing a transmission shift kit on a 68 RFE series transmission, there are a few things you need to know to make sure everything goes smoothly. First off, most shift kits are designed to work with the OEM factory-installed programming. This means if you've done any modifications or reprogramming to the transmission control module using a tuner, you might run into some issues with using a standard shift kit. So, with that in mind, let's talk about some key points and steps you should follow to get it right. When dealing with compatibility with OEM programming that is designed for factory settings, most shift kits are crafted to function as standalone units, meaning they work best with the original factory programming that came with your transmission. This ensures that everything runs smoothly and as intended. And when you are dealing with issues with tuners that have been modified or reprogrammed your factory TCM settings, it can cause some hiccups pertaining to things like line pressure control. These aftermarket custom tuner settings often don't play well with standard shift kits, leading to performance issues that are hard to diagnose or even potentially damaging the transmission. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work out the way you'd want. Reflashing considerations when dealing with deletes. If your truck has had its diesel particulate filter, exhaust gas recirculation, or catalytic converter deleted, reverting the powertrain control module to stock settings can be quite a headache. This is because you'd need to reinstall all these parts for the truck to run properly on factory engine tuning again, which oftentimes is not practical because it's a lot of work and can be pretty frustrating. Now, some tuners offer a bit of flexibility here. They allow you to uninstall and reinstall the programming without messing with the transmission tables. This is actually the recommended approach if you're using a shift kit. However, this option really depends on the tuner you're using, so make sure to check if yours has this capability. Before you dive into pulling that transmission, there's something crucial you need to do first. Verify that the stock line pressure is installed using a scanner. A scan tool is your best friend here. It's like checking the pulse of your transmission. Next, check the pressures when your truck is in drive range. Ensure the actual pressure matches or is within a few pounds of the desired pressure. This step ensures your transmission can operate as it should. If the desired line pressure values are above the listed specs, your PCM-TCM likely doesn't have the stock transmission tuning. In this case, consult with the customer and get the stock transmission program files. This will help avoid potential issues and keep the transmission running smoothly. When verifying stock line pressure, it's best to use a scan tool to check the pressures. At idle and drive, the desired line pressure should be around 60 psi. Now briefly power brake above half throttle, and the desired line pressure should jump to about 160 psi. Now during your road test, when you're in 5th and 6th gear at 50% or higher throttle, the desired pressure should hover around 160 psi. If you notice that the desired line pressure values are shooting above the listed specs between 170 to 250 psi, then the PCM-TCM likely doesn't have the stock transmission tuning. In this case, it's best to consult with the customer and get the stock transmission program files. Note: correct pressures do not guarantee correct file calibration. Proper file installation should result in smooth short shifts that hold power during the shift, and internal hydraulic pump damage could affect these readings. When dealing with aftermarket electronic booster options to raise line pressure, these boosters work best if you don't have a tuner installed and should be removed if you do. The Chrysler RFE transmissions feature a unique pressure transducer located on the side of the transmission and a real-time adaptive closed-loop pressure control system. This means you cannot raise the pressure in an RFE the same way you would in other transmissions. Traditional methods like installing a stronger pressure regulator spring or a larger boost valve won't work because the RFE control module will adapt and return the line pressure to its original specification. When a little extra pressure is desired, these electronic boosters work best when no tuner has been installed, and in my opinion when used in conjunction with the upgraded pressure regulator spring. When installing an engine tune, the reprogramming can potentially overwrite the transmission files without you knowing about it. This can lead to some confusion pertaining to pressure readings from the transmission, and when using files that differ from the truck's actual year, can cause significant shifting problems that cannot be corrected, potentially necessitating the replacement of the PCM-TCM with factory programming. This is important to consider as you proceed with the repair. because incorrect or poorly modified programming can lead to harsh shifting, rough lockup apply, timing issues, shutters, unexpected downshifts, and shift timing concerns. The newer the truck, the more critical this becomes. If you suspect the wrong file type has been used, I recommend determining the year of the installed program files by using your scanner to access the PCM/TCM information under the Tools and Miscellaneous Functions. This can help identify the year and model of the file, but it won't reveal any tuner modifications made to the transmission or engine. Note that the location of this information may vary depending on your scanner. In automotive reprogramming and tuning, code suppression involves modifying or disabling certain diagnostic trouble codes within a vehicle's written software. Codes indicate specific issues or malfunctions, and when tuning an engine for performance or adding aftermarket parts, non-critical codes can be triggered unnecessarily. Suppressing these codes prevents the check engine light from illuminating. This process involves reprogramming the ECU by accessing its software and adjusting the parameters that trigger specific codes. Specialized equipment and software are used to read, modify, and reflash the ECU with updated settings. While this helps maintain normal operation and avoids confusion during diagnostics, it requires careful consideration to avoid masking legitimate issues. Let's quickly go over the walkaway information. Most shift kits are standalone. Modified or reprogrammed TCM settings from tuners often cause compatibility issues. Reverting the PCM to stock settings is challenging. Some tuners allow programming to be uninstalled and reinstalled. Verify that stock line pressure commands are installed. Check the desired line pressure in the drive range. Ensure the actual pressure matches or is within a few pounds of the desired pressure. If desired line pressure values exceed listed specs, it's likely not a stock file. Desired line pressure should be 60 psi and drive at idle. Briefly power brake, desired line pressure should reach 160 psi. In 5th and 6th gear, the desired pressure should be around 160 psi at 50% throttle, and correct pressures do not guarantee correct gear calibration. Continuing on, internal transmission or hydraulic pump damage could affect pressure readings. Remove any aftermarket electronic pressure enhancing devices. Engine tuning can overwrite transmission files without you knowing. Using different year files from other trucks can cause drivability concerns that can't be fixed. Ensure the correct year program files have been installed. Incorrect or poorly modified programming can lead to drivability problems. Use your scanner to access PCM calibration information, hopefully to provide some insight. Lastly, code suppression can inhibit certain codes from being displayed through your scanner and can lead to transmission performance issues. Thank you for joining me today. If you've appreciated this insight into the 68 RFE series of transmissions, which also includes 45 RFE, 545 RFE, and the 66 RFE units, and would like to explore more topics like this, please let us know, and I will catch you on the next one.